Welcome back to the Kurt Electric High School Basketball Boys State Championship Preview Show presented by Cannon and Dunphy. I am Mike McGivern alongside my co-host, the head coach at Greendale Martin Lutheran, Paul Waldersheim. Tip-off for the first state semifinal in Division 5 is just minutes away. Stay with us here on My 24 throughout the day for great high school boys basketball action. Later on this evening, the Division I semifinals get underway. Tip-off 6:30 as Wisconsin Lutheran takes on Oshkosh North, followed by Waunakee taking on Marshfield. Let's start with the number 1 seed, the defending Division II state champion, the Wisconsin Lutheran Vikings. They're 26-2 overall. They won the Woodland West Conference with an 11-1 record. Wisconsin Lutheran is coached by Ryan Walls, his 17th year as the head coach at Wisconsin Lutheran. We talked to Ryan. He talked a little bit about moving on from Con Knipple and what that took.
We're coming off last year's championship and losing one of the all-time great high school players in state history to come back and be in the position we are. We feel very fortunate. We felt like we had a bunch of talented players coming back. We just didn't know what it would look like. The boys have exceeded expectations from the standpoint of early in the season playing really good basketball and getting to a point where they ranked number 1 in the state, beating De Pere early in the season really set that tone and put us ahead of schedule. We thought that by the end of the year we would have a chance to go to state based on what we had coming back. We just didn't know how quickly we would get good. And like I said, the boys really came together through the summer and the fall to have a great start. They're guys who really have gelled well. They play together. We assist on over 70% of our field goal attempts. So offensively, they have been excellent together as a group. And then I think they've really found their identity on defense, which was a huge key for us and one of the bigger question marks. We use length. We use skill, and we use teamwork to be as competitive as we can be. And it's been a great recipe for us this year.
Coach Walls did a great job, Wisconsin Lutheran. His father was the head coach prior to him. There's been a Walls coaching at Wisconsin Lutheran for a long time. I'm very impressed with how this team plays together. And you had talked about, in the beginning of the year, Tulsa West maybe not playing together. This team at Wisconsin Lutheran, they make the right pass, they defend hard, they rebound. They are led by Xavier Zenz, averaging 23 points a game. But boy, it is not a one-man show. The 2 younger Knipple brothers, a sophomore and a freshman, have really improved throughout the year. I'm a big fan of Isaiah Mellock, who is their guard. Tough kid. He had been injured in the beginning of last year, came off the bench some last year. He's the guy that I think gets them in the right sets offensively, gets them defensively, rebounds, and he does some really good things for this team. If you had a chance to see them play at all this year?
I saw him at Christmas as well. I think you're right about Isaiah Mellock. The way his toughness, his experience. Last year he was kind of distributing the ball, making sure it got in the right spots, playing good defense. But this year I think he's the leader of that team. And I know he's maybe the 3rd leading scorer, but the way he handles the ball, the way he gets it to the right spots, the way he finishes, the way he makes big shots when they need it, and the way he defends. He's such a good athlete. And just the way he carries himself on the floor, I think, gives the rest of the team confidence.
If I'm in that conference, I'm so sick of the last name Knipple, and you got a lot more to go. They've got a sophomore, a freshman, and then 2 younger boys in the middle school that are going to be coming to Wisconsin Lutheran as well. And Cager, who is the sophomore, averaging 14 a game. His game has really expanded, and it's fun to watch these guys play together because they see each other on the floor quite a bit. They make good basketball decisions, come from a basketball family, and it's a team that I think rightfully so got the 1 seed. I
right. I mean, for us coaches in the area, watching what Wisco's doing right now, everybody, Con leaves, he's at Duke. Okay, here's our chance, and they're moving up to Division I. But here they are back again. as good as ever. There's no, if you know, being around the youth programs, I have a son in 6th grade, their youth programs are at the top or near the top at every level. What's interesting is, you know, Marquette last year was the first private school to win a D1
Right.
state championship, and here we are this year with a chance for another private school to get a second one.
Well, they're going to be fun to watch. Wisconsin Lutheran takes on Spartans from Oshkosh North High School. They come in overall record 19-6, took 6th in the Fox Valley Association. They're coached by Brad Weber. It's his 8th year being the head coach. Brad talks a little bit about this season, a tale of 2 seasons for them.
Yeah, we've kind of had a tale of 2 seasons. We started off the year, you know, facing a lot of adversity with our second best player, Bryce Ott, broke his ankle in the football season. Actually finished the last couple of games in football on that broken ankle. And so we missed him for the first kind of 2/3 of our season. And with our non-conference schedule being as tough as it is, you know, it definitely took our guys a little while to figure out how to step up into those new roles. And, you know, we put the time in to become a little more complete as players. And then once we got Bryce back, it's, you know, been a much more successful run for us. Now that we're whole again, everybody kind of gets to settle into their just right places that they've been playing in for the last couple of years.
When you look at this team from Oshkosh North, and we had talked about it earlier in the show, when one team has a guy that's averaging a lot of points, can you slow him down a little bit? Well, Zay Mitchell is an Iowa State recruit, is averaging 35 a game. And he's had a couple of games of, you know, high 40s and 50s. And now they've got Bryce Hott back. And you can tell with Coach Weber, you know, that to have a second option other than just Zay Mitchell has really meant a lot to this team. And for them to beat a team like De Pere to get to state was a really big step for them.
Yeah, I mean, their last 3 games to get to state, Bayport, Homestead, and De Pere, they're obviously playing really good basketball right now. That you take that along with all the teams in their conference are D1. So it's night in and night out in that conference that you've got big crowds, big games, close games. And so I think that plays a little bit to Oshkosh North's advantage. Wisco has some D2s in their conference. They play nobody's dismissing their schedule. They play one of the toughest schedules. But this conference is one of the top conferences in the state. And so there's nothing that I don't think Oshkosh North hasn't seen other than playing a Wisco team that is just so fundamentally sound and good and well coached. So to me, this is a great game. I mean, the winner of this is going to have a great shot at winning the state tournament, I think, because you know if Oshkosh North is good enough to beat Wisco, they can win that state championship game. And Wisco's right now, the way they're playing.
Yeah, I agree. This could be a really good one. We get to a break. Other side of the break, we'll break down the other Division I matchup coming up later tonight. This is the Current Electric High School Basketball Boys State Championship Preview Show presented by Cannon and Dunphy only on My 24.